Idiot, idiot, idiot.
Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Hello out there in TV land. This is Guy Ferguson, TV1, Queen Village News. After all these years of covering the news, it's hard to believe that I'm covering a major story out of Camden, New York. That's right, Laird Edgar Petrie has surfaced again. His story has literally made my career. Just when I thought I was out to retire, he has pulled me back in. This story has taken me and my remote satellite crew around the country. Rumor has it that Mr. Petrie has somehow earned his retirement. This investigative reporter has never ever found any evidence of him working anywhere, anytime in his life. I am sure local law enforcement is on high alert, and of course any of his victims are looking for payback. We intend to speak to his family if we can find them. Most of them have fled New York for their safety. I don't know who's more responsible for people leaving New York, Governor Cuomo or Laird Edgar Petrie. I will be breaking in with interviews as we find them. Stay tuned, America. Guy Ferguson is back and hunting America's most wanted, Laird Edgar Petrie. Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Welcome, America. This is Guy Frederickson. I'm standing outside what appears to be the third home of David and Beth Petrie in the last 2 years. It seems that they move around to keep their safety at bay so that people can't find them. The last time I interviewed Mr. Petrie, he was heavily armed and very nervous. Of course, that was 20 years ago. I'm hoping that he's mellowed out. We'll see. Who's at my door? Is that you, Guy? Holy crap, come on in. Bring your crew with you. God, she's still good looking. How'd you find me? I suppose you want to ask questions or something about what's my brother done now. What do you mean he's retiring? He's never retired from anything in his life. He always told me that he had a state job, that he had to do very little or nothing, he would never retire. Now he's going to retire? I'm very suspicious of that. Do I wish him luck? I wish him a good retirement. I think he'll enjoy life if he does some traveling and gets out and starts to meet people and try not to con too many. Good luck in your future endeavors, Laird. Are we on?
Uh-huh.
This is Guy Frederickson, live somewhere in the state of Georgia. We have finally found one of Laird Petrie's cousins, his first cousin, Jim Cole, who's on his mother's side of the family. Jim and Sue live somewhere here in Georgia. We're going to interview them. We interviewed his parents quite a few years ago for Laird's birthday. So we're hoping that we get a good interview here. And as we said, it's somewhere in Georgia. Are we at it?
Uh-huh.
This is Guy Frederickson inside Jim and Sue Cole's house, somewhere located in the state of Georgia. They asked not to have their location divulged. We're not sure why. But Jim and Sue are here with us today, and we're wondering, well, Jim.
Yes.
How do I know it's you? I said, you got two masks on.
Because I thought it was me, my goodness.
You got two masks on. What's the mask over your eyes for?
So I can't see you.
Oh, I thought maybe it was because the virus is invisible. You were worried about your eyes. Do you think you could take down at least the top one for this interview? There you go. You know, you look a lot like your father. I interviewed your father 20 some odd years ago for Laird's 50th.
I remember that.
And he was a little nervous about being on camera.
Speaking of nervous.
And he was worried about my microphone. So as we get a little closer, don't let the microphone interfere with you. I'm going to ask you some questions about, you understand that your cousin Laird,
Yes,
who is your first cousin on your mother's side,
that's correct.
is going to retire.
Yeah, okay.
Now, most of the people, I talked to his younger, more handsome brother the other day, and
I didn't know
he
he
said
was younger.
no, that would be David. But anyhow, he's in somewhere in the state of Florida. We wouldn't divulge his location either. he asked for privacy. But his interview was short and quick. He was real nervous, and he was armed with a gun, so I really didn't give him any trouble. But it turns out that he said that you were up here somewhere in Georgia, and we were able to find you guys. And,
We didn't
I gotta
find
say,
you, I guess.
you're hidden pretty well out there, and you must be doing pretty well for yourself, because your place is a lot nicer than my double wide. But anyhow, that's, reporter salary, it's
Yeah.
reporter salary. But, so he's retiring. And of course, David said he didn't know he had a job ever. But I guess he does have a job with the state. And the implication we got was that he didn't do much. And that he had made, and that's why he didn't ever retire.
I've heard
And
that.
now he's going to retire. But I'm more interested as a reporter as to your younger years. I mean, you two are about the same age as I.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
He's a little older.
And there's been some adventures I heard probably in the Camden area that you people were involved in.
Yeah, but I don't think we can disclose them.
Are you worried? Are you worried about the law? Because that's typically up there. My understanding is that
Well, we did have some issues from time to time,
from
yes.
time to time.
Mainly because of him, but yes.
When I did his birthday years ago,
Mhm.
we interviewed a sergeant with the police department
Mhm.
down there, and they showed me the jail cell that Laird spent his 18th birthday. And the implication was that there was some type of farm animal deal going on.
I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with it. I know about it, but I wasn't involved in it.
So you're aware there was farm animal type things going on,
Yeah.
as well as
Yeah.
excessive drinking and carousing.
Well, I
No.
think that's what caused it, was the drinking.
Oh,
I don't
really?
think he would do that normally.
No. Now, Sue,
Yes,
Jim's wife, of how many years? How many years have you guys been married?
We've been happily married for 11 years.
11 years. And how old's your oldest son?
40.
Let me do the math. I didn't do very good in math. Sue, I feel like I've known you forever.
I feel that way too. You just seem so familiar.
If you want to take your mask down, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
I've been inoculated. I don't know if you guys have been
Yeah.
shots or not, but.
Yeah, we have.
You know, now you've been married to Jim for quite a long time. You knew about his carousing days before?
I've heard something
The
about it.
military
And
got him and
always
straightened him
Laird's
out.
name was involved.
Laird was always involved with that. That's what we're finding out, is a lot of the things that happen.
Usually instigating it.
Yeah, usually he's
Yeah.
the
I was the
brains
innocent.
behind the operations.
I was the innocent one. I was just there for the
You were
ride.
just there,
I
got caught up in it.
I was
Got
the
caught up in
driver.
it.
Jim used to tell me that Jim was the lover and Laird was the fighter.
Oh, okay, that's, well, we've heard about his lifestyle and being a little crazy at times. His brother David said that, he's a much better looking young man, said that whenever he got introduced and somebody would say, "Are you Laird's brother?" he would duck. That was his first instinct.
Yeah.
You know, before, I guess there was a reason for that, I guess. But you probably know that growing up in Camden, that it's a little town that everybody knows everybody's business.
Right.
And that's kind of the way things were. And I got my start, really, I was a rookie reporter. His story, Laird, has made my career. Everything I've ever done on camera has been related somehow to Laird Petrie and his shenanigans in that village. But he is going to retire. There's supposedly a party that we're going to attend.
Well, I know the police force is very pleased to hear that's
They're
happening.
on high alert, my understanding is. And a lot of his victims over the years are going to show up, I believe.
Oh,
So it could be quite a party, and we want to be there to capture every moment that we can. But in all, he is going to retire. Is there anything you'd like to tell Laird about for retirement, that you would like to wish him, or good luck in retirement, or
yeah, come down and see us sometime.
come and visit down there?
He'll be
But
free.
you might have to tell him where you live,
Right.
and be a little more
Well, it'll
explicit
just
than
be
you are now.
personal, just Laird and I.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're not gonna put
We
that.
can't divulge
Maybe you
that.
would take him out on the boat or something in the middle of the ocean or something.
Yeah, he'd like that, probably
Yeah.
as much as he would going on a plane.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not very much on flying, from my understanding.
No.
But we'd like Laird to come down because if, we could get him out in a kayak, and I know he likes to kayak, and it would be nice for him to paddle alongside some dolphin. I think he would like it.
Or some gators.
Oh, yeah, there's gators out there too.
I'd like to see him with the gators. Jim, is there anything you'd like to wish Laird for his retirement before we close this interview out?
Well, I wish him good luck in his retirement. I'm not still not sure what he's retiring from.
We're not sure either. We're
Yeah.
hoping that maybe he'll divulge some of that, or if there's employees that are with him that will be there, that will help it out.
Yeah.
But you wish him good luck.
I do wish him good luck, and I'm really curious, did Governor Cuomo actually give him the golden parachute?
Well-
I know they had some connection there.
Yeah, David was not sure who has caused more people to leave New York State, you know.
Yeah,
Laird or the governor.
yeah.
That's
Well, you know, his whole
hot
family
topic.
left.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys for letting us come
Well,
into your
thank
home
you.
and interviewing you, and I know it's dangerous at times, and we don't want to expose you to any type of danger. But maybe we'll see you at the party, maybe we won't. But we're glad we're able to talk to you and get an interview for you. And
We'll come with bodyguards.
yeah, this is Guy Frederickson at the Cole home somewhere in Georgia. Stop it. Are we on? Guy Frederickson here in upstate New York at an unknown disclosed area. We're at a golf course somewhere in central New York. We think that we've come across another cousin of Laird Petrie. We're going to check it out. This might be them. Hey, how you doing? Y'all playing golf? Oh, hey, how you doing? Guy Ferguson, Channel 1 News at Queen Village. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
You wouldn't happen to be Judy Hyder by any
I
chance?
am.
You are.
How did
That
you track
makes
me
you.
down?
That makes you a first cousin on your mother's side of Laird Petrie.
I am, and I'm not ashamed to admit
You're
that.
not ashamed.
Not at this. I've grown out of that.
You know, most people have fled the areas and have houses they don't want us to disclose.
Yes.
I mean, they're
Yes.
pretty cautious about their
Yes.
involvement with your cousin.
Yes. Well, we don't live in Camden
So
anymore.
you guys are
so
in
we're-
central New York here somewhere.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't disclose your absolute
Thank you. Thank
location.
you.
I understand.
Yeah.
You got a beautiful golf cart here. You
Yes.
guys must like Syracuse.
We do. We are big Syracuse.
Big
fans.
Syracuse fans. You used to work for the university.
Yeah.
And your name is Bill, right? Bill.
Yes.
Well, you know, I've done some research a little bit. And it took me a little bit to find you guys. I
Yeah.
had to do a lot of travel.
Yeah.
I've been around the country with my satellite crew here. Isn't she pretty?
She is.
Oh, yeah. It turns out that
You're lucky to have such a good sidekick here.
well, it turns out when we interviewed David down in Florida, I think he's got a little thing for her because he was kind of hitting on her a little bit down there. So,
Yeah, I've heard he's like that. you
yeah,
know.
he could be a little
Yeah.
frisky.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we did a little research. We found that you were up here in central New York. You didn't flee the
Too
You
far.
did get out of the Camden town, the
That's right.
village where you grew up,
That's right.
but not too far.
Right.
So now Laird grew up. He was more your brother Jim's. We interviewed him down in Georgia at an unknown
Oh,
disclosure.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, you found him.
We
had
found
a
him.
hard time finding
I'm
him.
an investigative reporter. I've done a lot of research. You know, the Laird Petrie story has kind of made me. It's been 3 or 4 stories I've had to do on it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I got my first enema from doing his thing. My wife gave it to me.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it was a pleasure. Do you have any stories of Jim and Laird growing up? Or
Well, you know, we
anything you
heard so
remember?
many stories, and our parents made us promise we'd never tell them in public. And because of all the shenanigans that went on with them, poor Gail and I were confined to the house when we
Right.
got to be teenagers
Right, I
because they were
understand.
afraid
Oh,
for us.
it's
but-
cutting you loose.
Yeah.
You know, I interviewed your parents about 20 years ago. For
Really?
Laird's birthday. I don't know if you remember or not, but they were both a little camera shy.
Yes, they are.
In fact, when I
yes.
entered the apartment, your dad fled.
Oh, my
Kind of waved me off, and I had a hard time getting a hold of him. You know, getting them to loosen up, talk a little bit. That type of thing. But
my.
once we finally got them, they were fine. But it sounds like a good family relationship you guys had.
It was.
Even though it might be a little strained with Laird.
You know, well, families are family. but-
You know, there's always the dark sheep in every family.
There
and
is.
Some are darker than others.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so would you like to wish Laird anything in his retirement? He's retiring. You know, that's what this is all
Well,
about.
that's what
is a
we
retirement
heard,
party.
that he's retiring, yes, and we like to wish him well in everything he does. And I just want to say that I know he worked in Syracuse for a while in the State Department building or whatever they called it. And I used to see him on my way to work crossing, not in a crosswalk. And when I would come in the
jaywalking.
morning, jaywalking, and I almost hit some of those people a number of times, so I'm glad he wasn't one
One
of
of
them.
the minor, if fractions in his life.
Yes, I
jaywalking.
know that, yes.
He's had other
Yes, but
riots. We were
yes.
talking to your brother not too long ago, and he was talking about farm animals. I'm not sure what exactly.
We
I don't know if
heard
it ever
rumors,
happened,
but yeah.
you know, you're in the
Small
country up
towns
there,
have a
and up
lot
in the
of
country up there, sometimes those things are okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's like marrying your cousin.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
married my cousin.
Did you?
Yeah, that's another story. But so we're glad that we were able to find you out here. I don't want to interrupt your game of golf and your Syracuse fans.
Yes.
And I appreciate. Bill, did you want to wish Laird a happy anniversary?
I want to wish Laird. I've witnessed several of Laird's retirements.
Really?
You know, the first one I remember was when he retired as an assistant in the police department via a 2x4 to the head.
Oh, you got hit in the head in one of his brawls.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
And another time he was trying to be on American Idol and he didn't make it, but he wrote a song called "Go Ugly Early."
Go ugly early.
He wanted me to play it for him, and I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it.
No, it was too ugly.
It was too bad to review. I wonder if his son Jeremy had ever recorded that
Probably.
song.
Oh.
We understand he's got a very talented son that sings.
Well, yes, we've heard that. Yeah.
But your musical career has blossomed
Absolutely.
over the years.
Absolutely.
You've had a great time
I'm
with
well
it.
known everywhere I go.
I know when I was talking to David off camera, he would say that he always looked forward to Bill showing up with his guitar to any event we had. So that must be what
That's it.
you're referring to. Well, listen, we want to thank you guys. We're going to let you go back to your game of golf.
Thank you, yes.
And we're glad that you were able to share a story or two about Laird and wish him luck in his retirement.
Yes, we
And
do.
perhaps we'll see you at his party because there's going to be a party.
All right. Well,
on the
we
19th.
hope to be there, yes.
We're coming, invited or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crash. I think the cops are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I know I am. I think the last person Laird wants to see at one of his events is Guy Ferguson.
Yes.
We've had stories before, and it goes a ways back.
Yes.
Few stories
Yes.
They're pretty funny. We'll have to wait and see how long it
It's
is.
this day of fake news. It's good to see it honest.
Some honest reporting, a good, hard-hitting, investigative reporter,
Yes.
and a big, pretty good looking one too. All right, this is Guy Frederickson, and the Coles and the Hiders are happy to see Laird retire. Are we on? This is Guy Frederickson, located in an undisclosed location in Florida. We interviewed Dave Petrie in Florida. We happened to find, through some investigation, that there's a childhood friend of Laird Petrie that lives in Florida also. We promised we wouldn't give his location away, and we're going to see if Mr. Gary Fox and his wife Carol are available for an interview for Laird's retirement party. Are we on? Listen, this could be Mr. and Mrs. Fox coming right now. We knocked on their door and didn't get an answer, so hopefully this is them. But I'll check and see. Follow me, camera crew. Mr. and Mrs. Fox? Yes. This is Guy Frederickson, Channel 1 News out of Camden, New York.
Oh my God!
Sweepstakes winners for the clearinghouse?
No. This is in regards to a childhood friend of yours, Mr. Fox, Laird Petrie.
I think I remember.
Well, listen, why don't you park your car and we'll conduct an interview right here because Laird's retiring and they're having a party for him, and I wanted to do a background investigation before we go up to the party.
I can't believe. I didn't think he had a job.
Well, we have found that most people don't think he ever worked.
Yeah. How the heck can you have a retirement party if you've never worked?
My understanding is, and I'm an investigative reporter, is that he has some type of state job, which would make it understandable that it would be one that he would never have to work very hard at.
Except for paper cuts, I can't imagine any hazards in that job.
Yeah. Why don't we have you pull right in and we'll come back and we'll do a little interview. Are we on? This is Guy Frederickson again. I'm here with Gary and Carol Fox. It turns out Gary was a childhood friend of Laird. Grew up not too far from his household down on Main Street, Camden, New York. And we found them here in Florida. We're not going to reveal their location like most everybody else. They didn't want their location revealed. So for safety purposes, we're going to start with Gary. Gary, I understand you walk not too far away. No,
Yes, that's correct.
you and Laird's much more handsome brother David went to
Yes,
school
yeah.
together. And
Yes, that's correct. The younger brother David and I grew up together. The older brother, sometimes he wasn't around. He was in jail. But sometimes you go down, he wouldn't be there. Now, family would make all kinds of excuses and stuff as to where his whereabouts, but he was at OCJ.
we found out through our investigations that somehow through Sergeant Tim Smith in Camden, that there were somehow farm animals involved in that arrest, as well as excessive drinking and maybe some carousing.
Well, it was always rumored he was into bestiality, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
His
I
cousin
couldn't
Jim
confirm
confirmed that basically. Yeah, we interviewed them up in Georgia somewhere.
Yeah.
Carol, did you know Laird after you and Gary met, or
Yes, I met Laird quite a few years ago.
quite a few years ago? What's your impression? What was your first impression of Laird Petrie when you first met him? Give us like your first instinct. What was he to you? Handsome?
Well, yes, definitely very handsome. Very
rowdy?
handsome.
Was he rowdy?
Not too much.
He's had a reputation of being a rowdy character.
I think he was on best behavior when he first met.
Really?
But the true Laird came out afterwards.
Do you think his wife at the time made him, conservative? Don't want to talk about wives or ex-wives?
Nah.
Okay, well, that's
We
probably
won't
good
go there.
practice. Well, we understand that you want to retire. Not many people thought Laird ever worked, but they were kind of surprised to find out that he's got a retirement out of it as well. So that
how
can only
many
be a
people?
state.
How many people work to 80?
Yeah.
He's 80,
Yeah.
right?
He's got to be between 70 and 80 years old.
I thought he was 80.
I know it was over 20 years ago when I was a young reporter that I got my start with a Laird Petrie story. It was his 50th birthday.
That
They
was
had-
a long
they had
time
30
ago.
years
It was
ago.
20 or 30 years ago, and I got my first enema. Most reporters get Emmys. I get enemas, but my wife gave it to me. But it's important to understand that I got my career start with Laird. My whole career has been based around stories of Laird Petrie, whether he's left Camden and gone build a house someplace and God knows where, or he's come back to Camden. My understanding now is he's living in a barn that looks like a house, or a house that looks like a barn.
Doesn't surprise me.
Which brings back the animal stories again. It brings it full circle.
Yeah.
But we got to make sure that Laird knows we're going to go to this party, and I'm sure the police department is on high alert up there. I understand it's at his daughter Shannon's house. And so people will be on the lookout for him. I'm sure there'll be victims of him that'll be looking for revenge. And of course, the last thing he's going to want to see is Guy Fredericks there.
Yeah.
But as involved as I've been in most of his stories, So he is going to retire. Is there anything you'd like to tell Laird about retirement or wishing him retirement, Gary?
We've been retired so long, and we're living the dream. And
You retired at like 55, 60 years old.
yeah, I retired at 57. Carol retired at 54.
God bless you. That's
So-
hard to come by as retirement.
And I'm only 55 now.
Yeah,
You would
Carol-
think working for the state he could have retired, but
Yeah.
I
No.
guess he chose not to. 'cause
I
things were
just
so
want to
good.
say, Laird,
Yes.
get your butt down here. This is the life. We come back in the summer, enjoy summer in New York, and winter in
Come down
where
and
we
visit us.
are. Come
So
visit us.
Congratulations on his retirement, and have him come down and visit us.
So you guys seriously wouldn't mind if he came down here and visited you?
Only for a few days.
Yeah.
Just
But
for
yeah,
a few days?
just for a few days.
Okay. All right. Well, listen.
Love
this
you,
is
Laird.
This
Yeah,
is Guy Fredericks
congratulations.
at the Gary Fox residence somewhere in Florida, and we'll be seeing you at the retirement party, and hopefully you guys will be able to come.
Oh,
Absolutely.
definitely.
More
Yeah.
stories
Be
to
there.
come.
Love
America.
you, Laird.
More stories.
Congratulations, Edgar.
More stories to come, America.
Yeah.
Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Guy Ferguson here with Channel 1 News out of the Queen Village, Camden, New York. We've got some breaking news today. In our search across the country, we've been mainly in the South looking for relatives of Laird Petrie for his retirement. We found his younger brother, David, and we found several of his cousins, and we're going to try to find his sister, who I understand is still in New York, so we'll have to get back up there to New York. But right now we think we found his brother, his oldest brother, Donald S. Petrie Jr. And he's gone to great extents to hide his identity and his location. We think he's somewhere in South Carolina. So the satellite crew and I will be heading out and going to South Carolina. We're going to do a TV first for Channel 1 News. We're going to do a FaceTime interview on a telephone because Mr. Petrie is so paranoid about this. He doesn't want to be in person, doesn't want to be anybody to see him in person. So he did agree to a FaceTime telephone conversation with us, which we will try to film. It's a first for Channel 1 News, and I'm sure it'll earn us another enema. Are we on? Guy Frederickson here, Channel 1 News. Told you we'd be trying a television first for our network. We're going to try to do a FaceTime phone call with Laird Petrie's oldest brother, Donald. We understand he's somewhere in South Carolina. Does not want to be interviewed in person for fear of retribution, I guess. So we'll be calling him. Our technical crew is going to make this happen right now before your very eyes on Channel 1 News. Junior,
you got it.
this is Guy Frederickson of Channel 1 News in the Queen Village.
Oh my God, Guy, we've been heard that you were doing something in the Queen Village, and I know it was you because your hand's shaking.
Yeah, that's right. Well, listen, we're in South Carolina. We understand you're somewhere at an undisclosed location in South Carolina.
We rely on your diligence in keeping that location undisclosed.
Well, you know, I did a story on your brother 20 some odd years ago. I really got my career started, and I got my first enema from that show, and so we take pride in the fact that we can do this type of thing and be professional about it. Now we're wondering, you and your wife are in seclusion somewhere.
Correct.
Were you aware that your brother had a job?
A job?
Yeah, he's going to retire from something.
We heard rumors he had a job, but he worked for some organization. I'm not sure who it was, but he only went into work for, I know, like twice a year.
Yeah, well, that seems to be the feeling we're getting. We understand that it's a state job, which kind of tells the story of how easy it is.
We were wondering if you were going to put your investigative spotlight on this, I think, somewhat illegal practice
Well, it's
of collecting, obviously, good money for doing virtually nothing.
well that to the point where he's bragged about it at social occasions.
Oh my God!
Our investigative reports show that many people are aware of this, and there may be police showing up at this surprise retirement party.
Oh my God! Did you also? You may want to investigate this. We've heard that from the one or two times that he did do something for this organization, involved investigating local, honest politicians.
Yep.
And shaking them down for money not to publicize their wrongdoing.
Oh my goodness! Is this the America First agenda that he's running under?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness!
But we know we rely on you and your spotlight team to get to the bottom of this and put an end to these practices. I mean, it hurts everybody.
Yes, and I understand that we're going to try to do that. We are going to try to be at that party if we can. We've got to try to find your sister. We understand she's still somewhere in upstate New York.
I haven't heard from my sister in 13 years.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
you guys have moved.
It's sad.
You guys, through my investigative reporting, you've moved like 5 or 6 different times.
Every time, this is something else that it can be checked out, but every time Laird threatened to either move close to us or come visit us, we had to move.
Is that your wife I hear next to you?
Yeah, that is my wife.
Is it possible to get her in the picture for us?
Absolutely.
Oh, there we are. Your name is Suzanne.
Here I am.
It's Suzanne, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Well, you as well. I wish.
Don't let my microphone scare you.
Oh, I won't. No.
It wiggles.
And I'm very, very sorry that we can't be there for this illustrious event.
Do you wish him luck in his retirement, Suzanne?
Well, Yes, I do. I do wish Laird luck. I wonder what in the world he's going to be doing with himself.
Well, we heard maybe he might do some traveling.
Well, we heard that too, and he has threatened, well, that's not the right word. He has said that he was going to come down and visit us.
Well, you'd have to let him know where you are, and that is the problem.
Well, that's true. I would have to give him an address, and I just don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, you could be subjecting yourself to criminal prosecution.
I know. When is he actually retiring? Do you know
Well,
that?
he's retiring in June. We've got some disturbing news, though. We've heard that he's secluded himself and he's living in a barn.
Are you kidding me?
That's his house. His house is a barn.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what he's...
With animals?
I don't know what kind of retirement. Well, you know, we've had stories in his childhood about him and farm animals.
Yeah,
So,
I know. Yeah,
we can't prove any of that. That's just allegations, of course.
We probably don't want to go.
I don't think you need to go there.
No, but
That could get really ugly to a guy.
when we found out that he was living in a barn somewhere, it kind of made me wonder, what kind of retirement is this going to be that he has to live in a barn?
That's the truth.
I think that's well worth checking out, especially the barn business.
Yeah, we're going to check into it. Don, would you like to wish your brother a happy retirement at all?
Not really.
Not really? No, your cousin Jim was the same way.
Yeah, I think that, but I think, Guy, you once again are doing a humanitarian job of bringing this to everybody's attention. I want you to keep up the good work, and one of these days you're going to get an enema.
Well, you know, we got an enema. My wife gave it to me. We're hoping that we're going to get another one down the road here. But we're thinking about going on to a new outlet show, America's Most Wanted. We heard that might be a good catchy title, and this would, of course, be a lead-off with if we can find Laird.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
So this may very well come to fruition.
Who is your executive producer now?
The executive producer is my wife, Beth Louise Petrie.
Does she really help you in the investigation?
That's her disguised name.
But does she actually help you do the investigation?
Oh yeah, she's heavily involved in this, and in fact, it was her instincts that led us to you in South Carolina.
Wow. Well, again, tell her we do not want to have our location.
We're going to see that you're safe and sound, and that
for the minute.
If you watch Channel 1 News at the night of the retirement party, which is June 19th,
exactly,
you'll see some of this live coverage. We may very well see police work in action. There may be a lot of things going on.
Well, we'll be sure to tune in.
We'll be right there. And Guy, once again, thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, and
thank you for your hard work.
Okay, we're going to be signing off now. This is Guy Fredericks on Channel 1 News on a FaceTime interview, first for Channel 1 News.
Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Guy Frederickson here, covering the Laird Petrie story up in upstate New York. Myself and my camera crew are going to be leaving shortly for the north part of the United States. We've covered the southern part. We're taking our storm chasing vehicle up north, and we're going to chase storms if we come across them on our way to do the Laird Petrie story. But it won't be long, and we'll be up in New York. Looking for you, America, as we chase America's Most Wanted, Laird Petrie. Are we on?
Uh-huh.
This is Guy Fredericks at Channel 1 News. We're in our storm chasing vehicle with my crew. We've just entered New York State. We got a hot tip on Gail Cook's location. That would be Laird's younger sister. We're going to go see if we can get an interview and see how that works out. So we'll get back to you with breaking news at Gail Cook's location. Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Guy Frederickson coming to you from the village of Camden. We're back in New York State. We've traveled extensively throughout the country trying to find interviews for Laird Petrie's retirement party. So we have located his sister, Gail Cook. somewhere here in the Queen Village. She doesn't want the address revealed. We'll see if she's home. Follow me. Well, hello, Gail. This is Guy Frederickson, Channel 1 News.
Oh, I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, you know, it's been, the last time I interviewed you, it was about 20 years ago for Laird's birthday party. And you were just as good then as you are now. Should we come inside for this interview for a minute? Okay, thank you. Come on, this is my camera crew. She's a beautiful girl.
She is a beautiful girl.
Don't you think I'll hug her, maybe? Inappropriate.
Not everybody hugs my camera crew.
Well, that's limited to me.
Well, listen, we're
Very
glad.
nice guy. You upgraded your cat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, we're here, you know, about your brother, Laird. He started my career actually 20 years ago. I was a rookie reporter when
Did he get
his story
arrested
broke. And, you know, he's made my career, basically. Every story I've ever almost been involved with has had something to do with Laird Petrie.
Very sad guy.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make, but, you know, I've been talking to a few of your relatives that we found. We found your brother, younger brother, he's much more handsome than me, down in Florida.
I've heard that.
David, and his lovely family. And then we found his cousin, Jim Cole, in Georgia. And his other cousin, Judy Cole, up here in upstate New York. They were playing golf. Judy Hyder, doing good. And then we did a television first for Channel 1 News. We did a FaceTime interview with your older brother, Chip.
That must have been very interesting.
Yes, he did not want to be located, so he wouldn't do anything in live and in person. So, you know, he hasn't been in touch with the family or anything for quite a long time. So, it was interesting to get his perspective on Laird and his. Were you aware that your brother had a job?
Which one?
Laird.
Yeah.
You were?
Yes.
Because most people that we've asked have said they never knew that the man worked. And that what's he retiring from? So do you think he's going to retire from the state of New York?
Yes.
Okay, and we understand he's going to do it here in the month of June. And they're going to have a party for him. Now, Laird's led a pretty rambunctious life, all the stories that we've done over the years.
He's calmed down now, though.
You think he's mellowed out enough that he could actually retire and kind of sail off into the retirement world and travel? And
him and his little dog Stella
will be fine.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're glad that we're able to find you. Okay. Do you want to wish Laird anything on his retirement? Do you have anything?
I wish you love and happiness, Laird.
Love and happiness. That's good. But that's very touching because a lot of have not had very good things to say about your brother. But you know, we're doing the best we can. We're going to be there at this party. It's a surprise party, so we're going to be there. I'm sure the police are going to be there also. But you know, we're going to interview your daughter.
Which daughter?
Casey.
Oh, that will be an interesting interview.
We have found out that she is somewhere in this vicinity, and we're going to try to find her location and get her perspective from a law enforcement end of the deal. Because, you know, we did a story on Casey when she first was recruited by the New York State Police. I don't know if you remember that or not, but we had a little video, a little recording going for her party over at the Grape and Grag.
I remember. I paid for that party, so I remember.
You were involved, but you were drinking heavily then. I don't know how much you remember.
Well, you know, I did raise Casey.
I know,
so
but she's a good girl, and we're going to interview her and see how her career has gone, and some of her hobbies and interests that she's doing now, as well as her perspective on her Uncle Laird from the law enforcement and having your uncle. So this is Guy Fredericks at Gail Cook's residence, and we're going to sign off until we find Casey next. Is this the house?
This is it.
Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Hello America, this is Guy Frederickson from Channel 1 News in our storm chaser vehicle. We're back in the village of Camden. We think we're at a location where Laird Petrie's niece, Gail Cook's daughter, lives. And we're going to check that out as soon as we can get a good satellite feed. We'll be interviewing Casey Cook. This is Guy Frederickson again. We're in front of what is called I believe this is a house that's owned by Casey Cook, who is the daughter of Gail Cook. And we're going to see if we can get an interview with her, because that means she's Laird's niece and she'll have some insight. So let's go inside and see what they say. Let's hope they're home. Hello, Casey?
Yes.
This is Guy Frederickson, Channel 1 News.
Oh my God, I haven't seen you in years.
Oh my God. Now that I know who you are, you're not only Gail Cook's daughter, you're that little trooper I did a story on 20 years ago.
I am, 20 years ago.
Oh my God, your career must have blossomed by now.
It has.
Well, you know, the reason we're here is that we understand that, of course, that you're Laird Petrie's niece.
I am, and his goddaughter.
And his goddaughter.
Yes.
How likely is that?
About 41 years worth.
I don't see him as a guy, but all right. Anyhow, I don't know if you realize, but your uncle Laird
Why don't you guys come on in?
is going to retire.
He is?
Yeah. Did you know he had a job?
I heard through the grapevine that, yeah.
He did.
He
Most of
had a
the
job.
people that we talked to have said that they didn't think he ever worked.
Oh.
But it turns out, I guess, that he's had a state job, which is almost like not working.
Right, pretty much, because I do the same thing.
These are the same thing. And you're getting near the end of your career, so you can go ahead and say those kind of things. Well, we're just wondering if you had any unique perspective of Laird about what he might do in retirement.
Well, that's a good question. I know he likes nature, so kayaking,
Kayaking, canoeing.
looking at the conservationist, maybe, you know,
The magazine
all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then he's got a big
and
collection
maybe he'll
of
do
those.
some traveling and go see some of his relatives. You know, his Uncle Dave lives down in Florida.
Oh.
He's the better looking of the group.
The better looking.
Yeah. We interviewed him, and he was afraid that Laird would come down, you know, in retirement.
Right.
And seek them out, and they'd have to move again. They moved like 3 or 4 times. And his brother Chip, it was in South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
But he was so paranoid about us interviewing him and Laird finding out where he was, he would not do it on purpose. We had to do an on-camera FaceTime interview. It was one of the first things we've ever done with Channel 1.
Very incognito then, makes sense.
Yeah, he wanted to be, and you know, we ran into other relatives, his cousins, and all of them have, you know, pretty much said they didn't want to disclose their location. But they were happy for Laird that he was going to retire. But most of them realized that he thought that he'd never had a job to begin with anyhow. So it's really unique. Now I understand, besides your illustrious career with the police department, with the New York State Police, that you are into renovating old homes.
I am. Welcome to the W.H. Dorrance house.
This is a historic landmark, I understand.
It is.
It's got a little thing here.
Yeah.
The National Register of Historic Places.
Yes.
And you've taken this from pretty much a scratch
Shambles to what you see
to
now.
what we see now, and we've got it all developed here. Well, you know, I'd like to come back at some time and do a story just on the Dorrance house in the town of Camden and how it ties into the village and how you're involved with it.
Fantastic.
But I think we should talk about your career maybe a little bit.
Oh, my career, yes.
Most of you might not realize I did a story on Casey. I didn't realize till I saw her who we were talking about here. I did a story back in almost 20 years ago when I was a young reporter before I got my first animal. And Casey was just getting into the state police.
I was, yes.
And I remember such a little petite thing thinking, oh my God, this little girl is going to try to go in with all these tough men and monsters and take them on, but you've done well with it.
I have.
And you've been in for almost 20 years.
Almost, yep. Be 19 years in September.
Risen through the ranks.
I have.
Started out as a trooper, and where are you now?
So I'm an investigator with the BCI, which is our Bureau of Criminal Investigation. I have my permanent rank of sergeant, and I'm soon to be promoted to lieutenant.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's going to help in your retirement.
Yes,
pay.
it will.
Which is what it's all about down
That's
the road.
true.
And of course, you work with a lot of great people over there that are your partners and back you up and go on calls with you and things
Yeah.
like that. So, and you just had an interesting case. And I know you can't talk about cases, but you made an arrest the other day.
A couple of them, yeah.
And you know, in the reporting business, I'm an investigative reporter, so I do a lot of background on my people before I get to them, and so I kind of know a few things. But it sounds like you've had a wonderful career.
I have, yes.
And are you planning on retiring soon, or are you giving it time to?
I'm still
develop?
young. I'm still really young,
Yes,
so I'm
you are.
gonna try to muster it out as long as I can and see where I
So
end up.
it's a dangerous job, though,
It
so you
is,
got to take that into
absolutely is.
consideration. I'm sure your parents worry about you. I talked to your mom the other day. I interviewed her. She was a little nervous about Laird finding out that she still lives in this area, but you know, she worries about you and she worries about your brother Benson. Now I understand he lives around here somewhere too, correct?
Yeah.
He lives next door.
I don't
or
think I
whatever.
should disclose that though.
Okay,
That's
maybe
kind of for
not.
him for.
Yeah, because he might be
No.
worried also, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But you know, Camden's a small town, and people know everything about everybody.
That's true.
That's what
Yes, they do.
Camden is famous for. So we're going to close this in. Would you like to wish your Uncle Laird any luck or any good wishes for his retirement?
I would. Congratulations and happy retirement. I hope you make the best of it and do all the wonderful things that you plan on doing when you retire.
Very good. Don't let my thing scare you. All right, this is Guy Frederickson. We're at the W.H. Doran's house with Casey Cook, wishing Laird a good retirement and checking in on her career. Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Live from Shannon Tanner's and Brad Tanner's house in Williamstown, New York. We are here covering the Laird Petrie retirement party. We found where his daughter Shannon lives, and we're going to interview them. They're coming across the yard right now. Hi, folks.
Hey!
Guy Ferguson, Channel 1 News.
Hi.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to
guy.
meet you.
It was nice to find you guys out here. You got a beautiful location out
Thank
here.
you. We're
Now,
fond of it.
We're here covering your father,
Yes.
Laird. He's retiring.
Yes, thank God.
And you guys are having a, you know, a lot of the people I interviewed across the country, I've been all over the country on this job.
Right.
Down south, all over. They weren't aware that he had a job.
Well, he doesn't do much, so I mean, him retiring isn't to change his lifestyle.
Well, you know, Camden's a small town.
Yes.
And everybody knows everybody's business. We did Laird's story. He broke my career.
Oh.
20-some years ago,
I don't
did
remember
a birthday party for him, and that's skyrocketed Channel 1 and everything to where it is today.
Wow.
But
So you have him to thank.
so we found out a lot of things about his upbringing and his youth coming through, and he was pretty rowdy.
Yep.
Now I noticed that you've got like a little mini farm here.
We do.
Are you ever a little nervous about Laird around your animals?
Well, children
we've
and
got some
animals.
stories.
Yes,
We've
children
got some
and animals. We
stories.
try to keep an eye on him when he comes here. We don't keep him long.
Don't leave him alone.
And yeah, and not long.
He seems to be drawn to the bigger farm animals. I
Yeah.
don't know if you noticed that or not.
Yeah.
I have noticed that a couple of times. Yeah, he seems to be taking
He
on
might
the
even,
Donkeys.
he might even act like he's a little afraid, but you know, like a pig or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah. He did have a run-in with Peppa.
Peppa is,
Yeah.
is your pig?
Yep. Pig.
Okay, and so he's had some incidences there.
Yes.
Well, we're hoping that with this party today, if people come, that you'll keep yourself around those kind of things.
I wouldn't count on
Do you
that.
think you'll be
no.
surprised with this party?
I think so. Dad's easy to get over on.
Okay. Now, is there anything you'd like to say to your dad about retirement, or his congratulations, or?
Congratulations, Dad. We love you. We're so happy for you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. This is Guy Ferguson with the Tanners at their home at Laird's retirement party. We've
Love
got
you.
more interviews to come. Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Guy Ferguson here, Channel 1 News at the Tanner home for Laird Petrie's retirement party. And a lot of people have been showing up. I've seen some law enforcement, and I've seen a lot of strange people that we don't know. But I've also found some of his relatives. And one of his relatives is Joel Cole, which is related to Jim Cole and Judy Hyder. They're first cousins on Laird's mother's side. And this is Joel Cole. Joel, come on in. I'm Guy Ferguson, Channel 1 News. Nice to meet you.
You
And
too.
First, now I don't know if you were involved with the birthday party 20 some odd years ago. I don't think I interviewed you.
No, I don't believe so.
I interviewed your dad and your mom back then. They were a little scared. Yeah, they were a little scared when I came to the door. In fact, your dad fled. We had to
Well, I
get
can
him, go get him,
understand
and
them
come
being
back.
a little
He's
intimidated.
intimidated by my microphone. So please don't let this bother you. It waves now and then. But so you're here for Laird's surprise retirement party.
That's correct.
Were you aware that Laird had a job?
Well, I was a little surprised, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But,
most
you know,
of we've traveled all over. We've been down to Georgia to see your brother, Jim and Sue, and we were down in up in New York State, over in the Syracuse area to see your sister. Bill, we caught them on a golf course. They were riding in a beautiful Syracuse University golf cart.
I believe I saw the photos.
The envy of most people, I would say. But anyhow, so we've interviewed your cousins, Laird's brother, David, the better looking of the group, and then his sister. And then we also interviewed his older brother, which was, we had to do it on FaceTime, first for TV1.
Well, he's got some issues,
Yeah. Now, Laird is going to retire, of course. Is there anything you'd like to say to Laird about retirement or wish him luck?
Absolutely. I'm hoping he does and enjoys himself. Although, like you said, I wasn't sure he was actually working anyway, so I'm not sure how different it is.
Now,
But I'm sure.
I'm sure it is. Now, where do you live now?
I live outside of Boston.
Boston. Okay, so you know Laird travels, so he may very well make an appointment to come see you or something.
Absolutely.
You can dodge. You could join. Get out of that. If you want,
Well, I can get out.
Excuse.
If he texts, I can always leave the house.
Yeah.
I'd leave him a key.
Yeah, but he'd have a nice stay.
Absolutely.
Show him a good time. All right. Well, this is Guy Ferguson with Joel Cole, Laird's cousin, at Laird's retirement party. Are we on?
Uh-huh.
This is Guy Ferguson at the Tanner home. We're having a party, a surprise retirement party for Laird Petrie. And we found some relatives of his and some friends of his, and we're going to interview a couple people that have got some interesting stories about Laird and trying to be a friend of his. Okay? Come on in, folks. Guy Ferguson, Channel 1 News.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And your names are?
Larry,
Larry,
and Carol. Shock. Yeah.
Shock.
Yep. Shock.
And you guys are from where?
Casanova.
Casanova. That was a pretty good little drive over here.
It was. We were going to pack a lunch, but
Did you hear banjos or anything as you came through? Part of it?
no. Maybe on the way home.
Maybe on the way
There's
home.
always
You never know what you're going to find out.
You never know.
And I found that a lot of my camera crews and stuff are nervous around these kind of things.
Oh.
So you've known Laird for how long?
Oh dear. We'll have to get back to you on that one. I don't know. Long time. Long time at least.
I got to be honest with you. You're one of the few that admit it right away.
Yeah, this is,
so
yeah.
that's in his favor, I guess.
Yes.
Now you guys have camped with Laird.
No. We, the whole group would go to the Beaver River Hotel. We own the Beaver River Hotel.
Okay.
But I saw Laird and Gary and Ron Fox in my yard at camp. And that's when I met them.
Were they doing anything strange?
No, actually, there wasn't anybody else with them, and they were behaving. They were really good that weekend.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. And so we got to know them, and then they decided to bring the girls up and that. And this has been going on for a long time. When did they first? Do you know when they first started going to the hotel? I don't know.
Prior. As an investigative reporter, I like to find background checks. I mean, I heard that he had gone up to your area.
Yes.
Do you think you'll be doing more camping or more traveling or seeing each other with Laird at all in the future?
No. What would be the reason to do that?
It would probably be a wise idea. Would you like to wish him a happy retirement or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, happy retirement, Laird. It's about time.
There you go.
We've been waiting. We've been waiting and waiting.
72 years old, for God's sake.
Yeah. So, but that's okay. That's okay. He made his millions. He's good to retire.
All right. This is Guy Ferguson with a very happy couple to see Laird retire. Vehicle. Are we on? This is Guy Ferguson, Channel 1 News in the Main Village. We're at the Tanner home, site of the retirement party for Laird Petrie, who's retiring from the job. And we found friends of his. So we're going to interview them now. Your name is?
Gretchen, Quincy, or Rose. One of the three.
One of the three, that's us. And how about you?
Jeff.
Just one Jeff?
Jeff Cochran.
Channel 1 News here, and we understand that you guys are friends with Laird Petrie?
Yes, we first met Laird probably about 22 years ago.
Really? We did his 50th birthday party back then.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but that's how I got started in the business. I was a rookie reporter.
Oh, I gotcha.
And it was quite a party for him. Now, did you know Laird had a job?
I did. I did know.
You must be a good friend then,
Yeah.
because a lot of the people that I've interviewed don't realize
Well,
he doesn't.
I heard that he went away for his job. What his job was, that was a mystery.
Yeah, we knew he traveled a lot.
He does a lot of traveling in the canoe by himself.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he does it all in the canoe, but he is by himself from what I understand.
A lot. You know, he's led quite a rowdy life in Camden.
Yes,
There's
we've heard a lot of his rowdy
a lot of
stories.
Yeah. And there's some about farm animals, and we don't want to get into
football.
that. Do you have any stories you'd like to relate about Laird?
Laird, we did meet him canoeing. We went on canoeing trips with Gary, and Laird was
the Foxes.
Gary
Fox. We interviewed them.
Yep. And Gary told me that we had to take lessons to canoe.
Okay.
I did. I took a lesson, several lessons. I was good at canoeing. And I went with the Foxes and the group, and we went to Beaver River, and we saw Larry and Carol, and we had a great time. Afterwards, leaving, it was a foggy, foggy morning. So foggy. And we all get in, and Laird is leading the way. He's the guy. He knows where to go.
He's done it 100 times.
Wait a minute. He's the professional. That's right. There we go. He's the professional.
He wears that a lot when he does people's taxes, too.
Okay.
He does do this
Be
when
careful
he's
of the numbers.
Yes.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
So he was leading the way, and we all got in our canoes, and we followed Laird. And I thought to myself, doesn't the sun rise in the east?
Right.
Because we're heading east, and I thought we were supposed to go west. And I kept asking that question because we were going east, and then Jeff said, I see headwaters. And Laird's paddling away, and we're going towards the headwaters. He was sending us in the wrong direction.
So all
That's our funny story.
that backhand knowledge.
We all had to turn around, all that backhand
You were able
knowledge.
to turn around before you got to the rough waters?
I now have the patch.
Oh, so you're in charge.
Now I'm in charge.
I don't blame you.
And actually, he actually nicknamed our canoe the Kohler.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, after a bathtub.
Oh, okay.
You know, because we can't afford these $3,000 Kevlar canoes.
Right.
Well, you know, it must be from this job that he says he has that he's got money.
You've seen the Pirates patch.
Yeah.
He wears it a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good story, and we're glad
yes.
you were able to come to his party. Do you want to wish him anything for happy retirement? Or?
We wish you many trips on your canoe. We hope you visit us at our camp during your retirement.
If he can find his way there.
If you can find
he
your
knows
way
his
there.
way there.
Okay. We thought he knew his way out.
And may you still continue to wear your patch, Laird. Happy retirement.
Okay,
Happy retirement.
We love you.
This is Guy Ferguson signing off with Friends of Laird at his retirement party. Are we on?
Uh-huh.
Guy Frederickson in at the Tanner House with Laird Petrie's retirement party. We actually found more people that say they're friends with Laird. So I'm going to get an introduction. Hi folks, Guy Frederickson, Channel 1 News.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
And you are?
Mary Kay.
Mary Kay and?
Keith.
Keith. And where are you guys located from?
We're in Syracuse.
Syracuse. So you came an hour drive.
Well, no,
No,
we have a
actually,
camp.
we
We have a camp up on the pond.
Oh, up on what
Sandy
pond?
Pond.
Sandy Pond. Okay. Well, you're still a little bit of a drive.
We even let Laird visit one time.
You did.
Yeah.
Did the owners of the campsite know?
We're the owners.
You're the owners. Okay,
Yeah.
so you didn't throw them out.
No.
Most pitches have done that.
We invited them to make them feel at home.
So how long have you known him? How long have you known him? Any idea?
20 years.
20 years.
And then
Has he gone camping with you before and things like that?
No.
Or,
No.
hiking?
No, it's
or-
actually a camp.
Oh, okay.
It's a campground. It's
Okay. Just in the house. You let him in the house?
Yeah, we did.
Were
We
you,
didn't even make them sleep outside.
did you have surveillance cameras or anything like that? A lot of,
We do now.
I just want you to be aware.
We do now.
You do now, right?
Because
That's
now
a
that he
good-
knows where the
Now that he
place is.
knows where
And I was just going to ask you if you had a funny story, and there it is. You know, well, Laird is retiring. Did you know he had a job?
Well,
We know he's
heard.
we know he's a state employee. We can't
Which
call
is
him a
not
state
like a job.
worker.
Which is
No,
not
you
like
can't
a
call
job.
him a state worker.
Because he used to actually, I guess, to other people, some his relatives, that he used to brag about how little he did. how much money he
always
made,
did.
you know, all that type of thing, you know. Is there anything you'd like to say to Laird upon retirement at all?
I just wish him the best.
Wish him the best.
Freedom and do whatever you want
Do
when
you,
you want.
do you want him to come visit you while he's
We
retired?
do.
You're sure?
100%.
Because this is on tape, and
I
he'll use it
don't
against
know.
you.
He's welcome.
He will use it against you.
He's
Okay.
always welcome. He always
All
welcomed us to his house up in Old Forge to dog sit.
Oh, Thendera. We
Yes.
did a story. We did a story on his house raising up there in Thendera. Yeah, it was you know well, he had fled the police in Camden and went up to Thendera. Then they found out about him in Thendera, and he left Thendera and went to Pompey. The Pompey police found out he came back here. The man is just a whirlwind, and
He's staying one step
you just
ahead.
don't know when the police are going to show up.
Yeah.
Well, this is Guy Frederickson with some friends of Laird, it's hard to believe, at his retirement party.
Laird, don't be Yvonne.
But I heard that you're retiring, and I came out of retirement to cover your story again. You made me 22 years ago. I got my first enema from your show. And
you know, the day it started so well.
it was,
You know?
yeah. And there's friends and family here
Yeah.
that say they know you and appreciate everything you've done. A lot of them didn't realize you had a job, but to retire from.
Oh my
But
God, there's Megan.
yeah, there's a lot of people here to see you. So I'm not going to hold you up too long, but I would like to get an interview with you later on if I possibly
Are you
could.
right or left-handed? I can't remember.
I can't remember. Bilingual.
One of your hands on your head.
Well, we appreciate you stopping for us and not running us over.
Yeah.
I know the temptation was strong.
I'm not hurt yet.
The temptation was strong. But everyone is looking forward to seeing this new vehicle and talk to you about your exciting plans for the future.
Okay, yeah.
All right, this is Guy Ferguson with Laird Petrie. He's finally here, and everybody's going to get to see him and talk about what he's going to do in retirement. Are we on?
Mm-hmm.
Guy Ferguson here today, coming to you from our worldwide headquarters in the Queen Village of Camden, New York. We're going to put an official wrap on the Laird Petrie story. We covered his retirement, and now we've covered him from birth to retirement. And we're hoping that he's done. So we're wishing Laird a good retirement, and from those of us at the Queen Village News staff, we want to wish him a happy retirement. And we'll be signing off. Guy Ferguson, Channel 1 News. Are we on?
Mm-hmm.
Guy Frederickson here today. Folks, we got a kind of a personal note. This will be our last story. We're going to officially retire. You might have noticed that Guy shakes a little bit. Been diagnosed with Parkinson's, so that'll probably be the end of our career here. So we're hoping that everybody has safe travels everywhere they go, and that the news covers you favorably. Guy Ferguson, signing off.